All right, let's talk about one of the most popular tools in any trader's toolkit, the Relative Strength Index, or RSI. In just the next few minutes, we're going to break down what it is, how you can actually use it to spot potential opportunities, and maybe most importantly, how to sidestep the common traps that catch so many people out. You've been there, right? A price is just rocketing up, or maybe it's falling off a cliff, but you're wondering, is this for real? How much longer can this last? How do you spot when a trend is getting tired and might be ready to turn around? Well, that's the exact problem the RSI was built to help you solve. Okay, here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine the price chart is your car's speedometer. It's just telling you how fast the price is moving. The RSI, though, that's your tachometer. It's not about the speed, it's about the power behind that speed. It tells you if the engine is redlining and about to burn out, or if it's got plenty of power left to keep going. Okay, so keeping that tachometer idea in mind, let's pop the hood and see what this thing is actually measuring. So the RSI, it's been around for a while, created way back in '78 by a guy named J. Wells Wilder. And at its heart, it's what we call a momentum oscillator. That just means it's a line that moves back and forth between 0 and 100. It's calculated by comparing how big the recent up moves are versus the recent down moves. Simple as that. It gives us a really clean look at whether the buyers or the sellers are in control. All right, so we've got this scale, 0 to 100. Super simple, but how do you actually read it? Well, it all boils down to three key numbers you need to watch. First up, we have 70. Now, when the RSI line climbs above this magic number, we call that overbought. It's a hint that the buyers might have gotten a little too excited, the price has moved up too far, too fast, and it could be due for a breather. And you guessed it, on the flip side, we've got the number 30. When the RSI dives below this level, that's our oversold signal. It suggests the sellers have been in total control, maybe pushed the price down too aggressively, and it might be getting cheap enough to bounce back. And smack dab in the middle, you've got 50. Think of this as the 50-yard line in a football game. When the RSI is above 50, the bulls are generally in control. When it's below 50, the bears have the upper hand. Sometimes, just crossing this line can be a signal in itself. Okay, but here's something a lot of people miss. Those standard settings, 70 and 30, they're not set in stone. You can actually fine-tune this thing to fit your style, which is where it gets really interesting. So by default, the RSI usually looks back 14 periods, like 14 days or 14 hours, but you can totally change that. If you shorten it to, say, 9 periods, the RSI becomes way more sensitive and jumpy, great for a day trader, but you'll get more false signals. If you lengthen it to something like 21, the line gets much smoother. You get fewer signals, but they tend to be more reliable. It's all a trade-off. And it's not just the period you can tweak. You can change the levels themselves. If you're an aggressive trader who only wants signals in the most extreme market conditions, you might change your levels to 80 and 20. But if you're more conservative, you might bring them closer to maybe 60 and 40 to catch smaller shifts. It's all about tailoring it to your own approach. All right, enough theory. How do we actually use this thing? Let's get into two really powerful strategies you can start using, starting with a nice, simple one. Okay, now pay close attention here, because this first strategy is all about avoiding a classic rookie mistake. See step 2? Do not trade yet. This is so important. A lot of people see the RSI go above 70 and they immediately sell. Big mistake. A strong trend can stay overbought for a long time. The real signal, the confirmation you're waiting for, is when the RSI leaves that zone. So you wait for it to cross back below 70 to short or back above 30 to go long. That's your trigger. All right, let's level up a bit and talk about something called divergence. This is a super powerful concept. It's basically when the price and the indicator start telling you two completely different things. For bearish divergence, the price is making a shiny new high, but look at the RSI. It's making a lower high. It's screaming that the momentum behind this move is fading. The opposite is true for a bullish divergence. Price makes a new low, but the RSI makes a higher low. It's a sign that the sellers are running out of steam. Yeah, this quote really nails it. Divergence is your early warning system. It gives you this little heads up that the strength of the trend is weakening, often before the price has even started to turn. It's kind of like hearing the engine start to sputter just before the car slows down. But I have to be crystal clear about this. A divergence is an alert. It is not a signal to immediately jump into a trade. Think of it like a yellow light, not a green one. It tells you, hey, pay attention, something's changing. But you absolutely must wait for other confirmation, like a break of a trend line, before you even think about placing an order. And that whole idea of needing confirmation brings us to our last and, honestly, maybe the most important point of all. We have to remember, this is just a tool. It is not a crystal ball. So let's get real for a second. No indicator is a magic bullet, and the RSI is no exception. In a really strong ripping trend, the RSI can give you a ton of false signals. It can stay pinned in the overbought zone for weeks while the price just keeps climbing. That's why you can never ever use it in a vacuum. It's just one piece of the puzzle, and it works best when it's confirming everything else you're seeing on the chart. So at the end of the day, what is the RSI? It's a fantastic tool. It's a momentum gauge. It shows you what's happening under the surface of the market. But that's all it is, a tool. It can show you the setup, it can flash the warning light, but it can't make the decision for you. So the real question isn't just about reading an indicator, it's whether you have the discipline to use that information wisely. And that, right there, is the difference.